Hello, my name is Kira Swords and I am going to start a new YouTube channel. So this is my first video and this is going to be a little bit of a ramble. So I haven't really planned this and I've just been inspired by Ali Abdaal, who does an amazing channel and podcast on productivity, and he's a successful YouTuber, and so he's just sort of encouraged anyone who wants to start a YouTube channel to just get going into it. So here, this is my start. And so I'll just start a little bit about who I am and what I do, why I'm actually starting this, and yeah. So firstly, I am based in Auckland. I've been here for the past few years. I grew up in Northland near Whangarei, and yeah, I am actually a first generation New Zealander. So I was born in the United Arab Emirates. My parents were expats over there, and I was born in a place near Dubai called Sharjah, and they decided to move to New Zealand when I was 5 years old. And that was because my uncle was based here. He married a Kiwi woman. He was working here. My parents, so you're probably like, what is going on here? What race is she? So I am half Filipina and half Irish. So my mum is Filipina and my dad is from Ireland. So yeah, I'm a bit of a random sort of kind of national identity. I identify as a New Zealander, just considering I've grown up here. I've got a Kiwi accent, but you know, I still have my roots from the Philippines and Ireland, and that's something I actually want to explore a little bit more of, possibly on this YouTube journey as well. So I've been to Ireland quite a few times. I'm quite familiar with my family on my dad's side, but for whatever reason, I just haven't really connected to my Filipino side. And, a little bit of that is, possibly some internalized racism. Growing up in Northland, I was the only actually non-white or non-Māori or Pacific kid for quite a long time. Throughout my primary and intermediate, and probably not until high school that some other, diverse sort of ethnicities started coming into the area, because I grew up in quite a small town. And so, yeah, I guess that sort of meant I've just sort of frowned upon my kind of more Asian side, which is quite a shame, but back in those days, that was kind of strange. I even remember feeling strange, like, these are my real lips. And I'm really happy about them now. But when I was a primary school kid, I remember pursing my lips in because I thought they were a bit weird and big. So it's weird how sort of beauty standards do change over time. But yeah, that was just something I was quite insecure about as a young person. So yeah, that's, I guess, that side of things. I was a little bit of a vagrant in my earlier 20s. I studied down in Dunedin. I was there for quite a number of years because I changed degrees a number of times. Might be a story for another time. I was a little bit of a mess, to be honest, but I ended up finishing a commerce degree, majoring in economics, which I'm very proud about. I think it's been really useful in my later life, even though I don't work in economics. So I have lived in the UK briefly, lived in Auckland for a year as well. Moved to Sydney. I was there right before COVID for about 6 months, and then because COVID was starting to hit the Southern Hemisphere, made a very quick decision to move back to New Zealand and ended up back at my parents up in near Whangarei. And so, yeah, I was jobless, living at my parents. And then I was doing a lot of hobbies, to be honest. I was trying to learn Japanese, working on music. So I actually have a YouTube channel with some covers of music. I don't think they're that good, but anyway, that was something I was doing. And yeah, I was writing lots of songs, and that was actually a fantastic sort of time. Oh, plus I had a vegan food blog. I was making recipes, and that kept me really busy. But then I ended up coming across an opportunity to be a candidate for the Opportunities Party. More accurately, I was asked to do it after volunteering for them. And so I've been interested in that party since it started in 2017. Yeah, so if you don't know what that is, it is a small political party that's a centrist party. So I think we kind of aren't really sort of left or right, even though a lot of people do sort of perceive us as a more left-wing party because we are very progressive in our values. The kind of main thing is that we want opportunities for everyone to thrive. But the reason we're a centrist party is because we still believe in business and innovation, which brings us economically more to the right. I like to refer to us as more of a blue-green party. So our color is like that in-between color, which is teal, which I think is amazing. Kind of means that we've got that blue sort of business focus, innovation, and then the green with the environment. And yeah, so the main reason I actually joined that party was because I saw housing affordability as one of the main sort of challenges that New Zealand faces. We have really poor housing. At one point, I think in 2020 at least, we had the highest housing unaffordability in the world, in the OECD. But that's when you compare house pricing to income, because our incomes aren't that high comparatively to most sort of developed countries. And so, yeah, that was pretty wrong to me. We don't have a capital gains tax, which most places have something like that, or they'll have a stamp duty tax like Australia. And so, I mean, that's a pretty easy way to kind of avoid people pouring their money into property. I think one of the main things that happens in New Zealand is we actually have quite a low financial literacy. And so what happens is that people the only way they view investment is by having property. And then kind of not wrong. It is the sort of best way to make money in this country over a longer period of time if you don't have too much knowledge on markets or innovation or business. Because you can make a sale and not pay tax. Yeah, so that's not great. I was very for the solutions that the top party were coming up with. So I won't dive into that in this video, but just to kind of give you an understanding of why I decided to do that and why I was passionate about it. I mean, I've got a great sort of great colleagues in the top party, and I think they're all very smart, and I'm just sort of like this random young person, not a bit of a potato, just sort of relaying all the ideas. But yeah, that was a really, really interesting time. So what this sort of entailed at that time, and so I ran in 2020 was my first time. I had to run my own social media, put out videos, put out posts to kind of put some awareness, because social media is the easiest way to get the name out there. I was going to the town centre, trying to just randomly go up to people, talk to them, hand out flyers. go to businesses, kind of drop into businesses, talk to them. Yeah, I'd put on random events, even though they weren't that big turnout. I tried to put on one event and only one person showed up, so that was a little bit sad, but ended up actually being quite a good day, because we ended up meeting others at a different cafe, just talking, and yeah, ended up having actually a good discussion with quite a number of people. So it wasn't a complete flop. But anyway, it's pretty daunting going up to people. You know, most people can't be bothered talking to someone random on the street. So that took a little bit of pushing past that uncomfortable situation. Oh, and actually the main thing that was pretty daunting was going to the Meet the Candidate debates. So there will be a lot of community groups or just people just putting on what you call a Meet the Candidates debate or sort of panel. So they'll invite people who are running in that electorate. So in that spot, I was running in the Whangarei electorate. They would invite other candidates. So, you know, your main ones are Labour, National, Greens, New Zealand First. Those were the kind of main ones I would sort of see and act as well at these events. You would be given topics or questions prior to the event, generally speaking, and then you would have, you know, usually an intro or what you call a stump speech, get your ideas across, try to be likable, and then they would cover a series of questions. And sometimes you wouldn't be provided any information prior to that. You would just have to answer in the best way possible with the information in your brain. So it was a bit of a test of my knowledge, and I learned a lot during that time. So that was pretty amazing to get through that. And at that time I was 25, meaning I mean, it's not super young, like there are definitely younger people out there who have sort of gone into politics, but I just didn't think I was at that maturity level at that time to have handled that. But I did sort of manage okay, and you know, that was a really big development time for me, as daunting as it was. Probably the hardest thing for me at that point was my mental health around social media, and just feeling a bit weird posting myself on there and having weird comments. You know, some people would just say like, you know, you're a dumb girl, or probably a little bit more abrasive than that. But yeah, that was pretty hurtful. And now I'm at this point where I don't really care, but that was pretty hard at that time for me. So anyway, that was an exciting time. And then, I came back to Auckland. I went through a number of jobs. I won't go through that, but now I'm in a pretty great job where I manage a workspace provider right in the CBD on the waterfront, and get to work with amazing businesses from small sort of startup level through to larger organizations that might have a smaller footprint here. So, you know, co-working offices, virtual office. Sorry about the abrupt end to that last sentence. I ran out of phone storage, so you can tell I'm a bit of a newbie to this. So yes, continuing what I was saying, I love my job, and I feel like I have a lot of variety, and it keeps me very interested with my sort of chaotic way I deal with things. And yeah, anyway, I feel like I've been here in Auckland for, you know, sort of base myself here for a few years now. And so I feel like I am starting to feel more involved in the community here. The campaign that I did in 2023 last year, I ran in the Mount Albert electorate. That made me feel a lot closer to people in my neighbourhood, and just in my sort of party as well. And that's really helpful, because initially after COVID, I was really in my brain thinking I would move out of New Zealand. And, you know, some things don't happen, you know. I haven't I have a boyfriend here. I have friends here now. And I just feel a lot more, at peace with my life here. I feel like I've really connected with my team at work and to my clients as well. And yeah, I've been going to a lot of cool events. I feel like I can afford to live okay. I'd like to earn more. But I can't really complain considering I don't have any children. I don't have a dog or a cat. I can kind of just do what I want. And so, yeah, this kind of brings me to where I am now. I feel like I need a new project, and this is probably one of the things I'll be doing, is sort of taking you through what I do in my life. Some of it might be some of the lifestyle things. I mean, I do a lot in terms of trying to stay young and fresh, including facials and, I get my hair, well, now bleached, but I was getting it colored. I was bright copper previously. So yeah, that might be of interest to you guys. I kind of want to get back on the fitness bandwagon. So I have been to the gym every weekday this week, so that's a good start. But I think I'm generally have an okay fitness level, but it would be good to sort of amp it up and maybe take you along for the journey, sort of show you what I do and how I sort of stay moderately in shape. I'm not going to say I'm like a fitness influencer level, but that could be, something else that's interesting to you guys. Another thing I'm quite interested in is food. I love eating, and I happen to be vegan, and I've been vegan for the past 7-8 years, possibly around that time. So it has been quite a journey, I guess, emotionally initially, because that first hurdle of changing diet is quite a big one. I think I was lucky that I did it slowly, accidentally. When you happen to be a poor student, you find ways to make food cheaper. And one of the things I thought about was that good meat was really expensive. And so I ended up sort of learning how to cook vegetarian. And that was my way of being cheap, to be honest. And I got pretty good at it. And then, yeah, I sort of got my flatmate at the time, brought up the whole vegan argument to me, and I had to agree with it. It was a compelling argument to not eat animals or eat their, animal products if we can live without it. And so, yeah, that's when I sort of started cutting out other things. I started cutting out dairy initially, first meat, then dairy. The last one that was hardest for me was actually eggs, because I used to eat a lot of eggs. They were a good, cheap protein source. But now I'm at the point where I don't even think about eggs that much, I mean, if I see an egg, it looks nice, but I can live without it. It's fine. And I think it's been a good thing for me, because I'm sort of someone, I have a lot of impulses at times, and I think that sort of learning to control things that I ate, not for like trying to diet in the, that sort of sense, but getting through that point where you have accomplished, being a vegan for a longer period of time, you feel quite good about yourself, not just from a like ethical point of view, but from an achievement standpoint. So I think that's been quite beneficial in my life, and sort of, helps things go in the right direction, I think, for that. In terms of health, actually, it was actually a good thing. I was never strict about trying to be healthy. Like, I wasn't doing it to be a healthy person. I still ate a lot of junk food. But in saying that, when I first went vegan, the options were pretty limited. Junk food as a vegan in Dunedin was eating a kebab. And it's not super healthy, but it's definitely not Macca's level. unhealthy. So I think that that's quite beneficial. I had really terrible acne around that time of my life, and so I was having to get blood tests because I was on Accutane, which is like this hardcore medication that like is amazing at getting rid of your acne, but it's pretty intense. Yeah, it's something that they don't like providing to you because there are some high risks to your health, and so they check lots of things on your blood. I don't really know the things, but it's to check your liver, and then they also were checking my HDLs and LDLs, which is the cholesterol stuff. I don't know which one is which. I did health science for one semester and nothing is kept in that brain. I didn't really study. So anyway, point is, I remember that my bad cholesterol was decreasing when I ended up sort of cutting out meat and then ended up going vegan over that time. So that was quite a positive thing for my health. Not that it was the reason for, for me doing that. It's pretty easy to maintain your weight. You don't have to think about it as much, I think. As vegan food is becoming more popular and there are more businesses coming up with vegan food replacements, it's gotten harder to stay in shape. So here in Auckland, there are so many places you can get food on Uber Eats. I never feel like I struggle to get what I want to eat. I love burgers. They're probably like my favorite thing. I eat a lot of Burger King, and they do what they call the Rebel Whopper. So they replace the meat patty with a Rebel patty, which is plant-based. And so all you have to do is do that and remove the mayo, and it's vegan. And they also have recently added a Rebel chook, so that's also very yum. And they give you an option to replace it with vegan aioli. And so yeah, when I'm hungry late at night, especially after some beverages, that is my go-to. But there are other like amazing places, in particular Wise Boys. That's delicious. Tart Bakery. Grey Lynn is a good spot, essentially. Like there's heaps of stuff there. They even have like a French patisserie, which is amazing, and it's all vegan. And Thai food is usually good. If you just look up any Thai restaurant, have a Penang curry with tofu. It's great. Anyway, I love food, and the point is that there's so much food that you can eat. You can't eat everything that you want necessarily, but I don't feel restricted anymore. But that makes it harder to stay in shape. Anyway, I don't know where this ramble was going because I've just started talking about veganism. And so yeah, I kind of have an idea for a product I would like to do, but I won't get into that because I don't even know how to do it. Yeah, anywho, that's a little bit about me. I will wrap this all up now because I have probably been talking for about 30 minutes and you guys don't know me yet, but now you kind of do. And so hopefully I'll make it a little bit more concise what I'm doing and where I actually see this channel going. But today was just about kind of me coming up with a video, getting used to talking to myself in this camera. And yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed that. And yeah, give me a comment if you've got any ideas that you want to for me to talk about. If you've been interested in anything I've discussed in this video, that would be awesome. And so yeah, bye.